things we're gonna talk about is Cyberpunk, GTA Online, Kid Cudi, and The Mandalorian just ended their season finale with a surprising reveal. Um, Plus, we want to hit on some gaming awards news. This is the Dopest podcast with your host, the other L, and Robert Rock Solid Hardy. That's his cyberpunk name.
Oh, okay, okay.
you
What's
got
going on? What's going on?
you got B Johnny Silverhand and Robert Rock Solid Hardy, and you got to say it like that every time. So, how many in your party? Table for three. Name for the party? Robert Rock Solid Hardy. All right,
I gotta
Mister
say it like that every
Rocks.
time.
Right, you gotta say it like that every time. So we're taking a bit of a risk right now because the game in the background is the infamous Cyberpunk 2077. It's been in the news all week. Um, I don't even know what to really say about this game. I'm going to my settings because I feel like my volumes are a little high.
Yeah, I watch.
Actually,
This week both ain't playing. This week both ain't playing. I just watched it. I'll just watch these Falcons while we on this podcast.
yeah.
So you can do both.
So this game. Oh my goodness. Did you see the link that I sent you earlier this morning? Because that is enough to make me almost not want to play this game.
I read the headline. Let me go back to it.
I don't know
Uh,
how true that is because I didn't even finish watching the video.
One of our Punk's worst bugs can corrupt your saves if you move too much and file size exceeds 8 megabytes.
Right. And
Corrupting
I'm
saves now at this point, bro.
right. And the true believer in me is like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm just gonna push through. but but like the realist in me is like, there's a strong possibility you might have to put this game down, not of your own choosing. Like I was willing to play through the bugs, to be honest. I mean, like I
Wow,
said,
you a trooper, boy.
I
You is
mean,
a
cause,
trooper.
cause the only bug that I've really encountered is just my game crashing. And I promise
Okay,
you, if this game crashes like right now, I will just restart the whole podcast and everything. But it's just I don't know where they went wrong. They pushed this game back 3 times,
so many times.
and it still comes out like this. And like I told you the other night when we talked about it, um, this shit reminds me. This could have been God of War, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you know, this could have been God of War because if you ever seen the behind the scenes, they said they had to push the game back because they had like 360 some odd bugs. 300. I want you to think about that. 360 some odd bugs, most of whom I'm pretty sure came from trying to coordinate Atreus to interact properly with Kratos.
Yeah. They said Atreus was having Atreus in the game the whole time. Kratos was like one of the hardest things they had to figure out to get
And
like
it,
to get right. They
and
said it
it's
was
and
real
it's
tough.
it's so crazy because it looks so gorgeous. I can't
Yeah, the
help but to
game was
compare
beautiful.
these two games because I told Rob, I said, yo, I feel like this game could be the next God of War if it hadn't had all these bugs.
I always say this this game was huge. Like you gotta realize that too. This was this was undoubtedly the most anticipated game of 2020. Like even bigger than Last of Us, bigger than Final Fantasy VII remake. This game right here has been hyped up for years. Like that's what makes this so like
So
it's
detrimental.
it's terrible.
And
Yeah,
I and
yeah.
I
Like it's bad. It's so bad because this game was so anticipated, bro.
I want you to
So
understand.
anticipated.
I want you to understand right now. That photo that I sent you,
Hmm.
like if you look at the stream right now, my character appears as if she's not wearing anything but a fucking bulletproof vest, a mask, and a
Yeah.
hat. That's what it looks like. All she's wearing right now, but that's not. Like she has on pants, boots, excuse me, and pants, boots, and she has on full clothing.
Hmm.
But because this game is so glitched the hell out that she just, huh.
Man, it's it's just crazy, man. And mind you, both of the games I just named, Final Fantasy and Last of Us, they both got pushed back too.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's because of bugs.
And there's
You
nothing,
know,
there's nothing. I never get upset if a game gets pushed back because
me,
to
me neither.
me, it just says, all right, the game's coming out just a little bit later.
Yeah, we
But
just got some things to fix out.
right,
Some things to fix for because Cyberpunk is what a game could release like if developers don't push it back. Well, Cyberpunk did get pushed back, but
if they don't,
imagine
I
a
don't know
Final
what they
Fantasy
did.
VII remake. Yeah, exactly right. Like imagine Final Fantasy, that one of the biggest games of the year, had bugs, or Last of Us 2 had bugs. Like I think in both of them playthroughs when I played them games, I don't remember encountering no bugs in both of them
Yeah,
games.
I mean, well, I encountered like
Maybe
one
in Final
glitch.
Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy definitely had a glitch where like, and they weren't game breaking. They were actually just kind of hilarious. Like, there was one
Yeah.
point where like I was standing with Cloud facing the camera, and like his leg was just kind of twitching, like he just. I think I recorded it. His leg was twitching, and I just was like, "Oh, you trying to two step? Okay, okay, I see you."
Right.
But it wasn't anything where like I'm in the middle of a cutscene, it fades to black, and this happened this morning, mind you. I'm in the middle of a cutscene, it fades to black,
Mhm.
and the shit just crashes. Like
Man.
every time I click on anything in this game, I get a little paranoid. If I feel like the frame rate drops, I get fucking paranoid because
And it's yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
because
Go ahead.
because it just makes me feel like this is just gonna cut off. And the game does a good job of at least saving where I was. So when it did it this morning, and I want to be as spoiler-less as possible, I happened to be getting dragged out of a car. And when I got dragged out of that car, I had went through a whole other sequence after that point. But because the game crashed and I loaded it back up, the game started back from when we had stopped the car and I was getting dragged out. And I thought, okay, well, that's not too bad. But the fact that it happens is super alarming.
Mm.
And in my mind,
Yeah.
I'm like, and in my mind, I, in my mind, I would forgive CD Projekt Red if they said, hey, this game has a lot of bugs that we could not fix, but we are working to fix them. I'd have been like, all right, cool. I'd probably still play it. I'd probably, you know, look at it and just be like, huh, I wonder what kind of bugs it is.
Mhm.
But it just, the fact that they lied about this, and I knew something was weird when they said that they could only use the PC review copies and
That
and
was
stuff like
super.
that.
That was super alarming to me. And then I
But
posted that in the group.
yeah, but mine, but
That was
when,
super alarming to me, bro.
but when I heard that and that you couldn't use your own footage, I was like,
Man, listen.
maybe it's because the game isn't out, or maybe it's one of those situations where like, because remember this game had got was it, I don't know if it was this game, but it was a game that had got released um way ahead of schedule. I think it was this one, and people were saying stay offline, stay off, social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
The game was out. The game was out in a while.
yeah,
So people was gonna. They was afraid people was gonna post spoilers
right.
online of the
So
story.
so in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna follow anybody who's showing this shit off anyway. So
Hmm.
I've never really even paid any mind. I never saw anybody do any sort of the thing, and I feel like if I had been one of those people not knowing about these bugs and I booted this game up and I played it, I'd have been like, oh, I'm not playing this. Not until after that day one patch because this game seems to like be buggy as hell.
Hmm.
So I would have waited, got the day one patch, and still been fucking disappointed when I find out that all
Cause
this
the
shit
game did
is.
have a day one patch, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I bet it was that patch. You remember?
I don't remember. I just know that I just know that when I put this game into my system, I made sure there was something else I had to do for at least an hour and 30 minutes so that fly by. And to be honest with you, I really think that update patch only took 30 minutes to install. I mean to download and install. And
Mm-hmm.
that is alarming, but it makes me feel like uh like that should not have been the case.
Like this, like, again, it's like I, like I said, I might call this like the biggest. This might be the biggest game disaster or like I've seen in a long time.
Oh, it
Like,
is.
and I had Fallout 76 up there. I had Fallout 76 up there.
But
But sorry,
go ahead, go ahead.
what?
I was just gonna say
Oh,
that's
what?
another thing that annoys me is that they took it off of PlayStation Network, which isn't a bad move. I'm not saying the act of taking it off of PlayStation Network is bad. It's the fact that a game like Fallout 76 could come out, have these bugs, never got any confirmation as to whether or not they fixed them, and you're still allowing this product to be sold. But this game comes out, it's buggy as hell, and all of a sudden, oh, we're pulling this off of PlayStation Network. Granted, it was a joint, I guess, not discovery, a joint decision to some degree. I just feel like I just feel like that's what's the word? It's kind of like when you do something toward black people but not toward white people. Not saying it's racism, but like that's just the best example I could think of. Like it's like you're picking and choosing who you decide you want to punish for putting out a bad game.
Do you know also why I think they took it off?
Why?
It's because so many people who had the game wanted their refund, and some of
Oh,
us just tired of that shit. And it was like, you know what? Just take the game off. I'm pretty sure it was the people. I highly doubt Sony saw what CD Projekt Red did, put out this buggy game, and decided we're gonna pick this game to take off the store. It had to be the people. I don't see Sony as a company being like, let's take this game off because it's buggy. No,
if that's
it's
the
gonna be the
case,
people.
if that's the
You know what
case,
I'm saying?
if that's the case, and people really wanted to,
Get a refund.
yeah,
And
and
they kept
and
calling Sony and bothering them, and Sony was like, just take
I
this
would
whole
have,
thing off.
I would have been like, what the fuck, I'd have been like, what the fuck, did y'all do when not Cyberpunk, when Fallout 76 was a thing, and people wanted
I'm telling,
refunds.
I'm telling you the biggest. I told you, the biggest difference between Fallout 76 and Cyberpunk. Fallout 76, people knew. Go back to IG review of Fallout 76. Cause they gave it like a 6 or something like that.
I'm surprised they
That
got
game was,
that.
yeah, it was buggy as hell. It was, we knew this. I ain't watched too many reviews because, like I said, I'm not the biggest Fallout fan. I just
Yeah,
pay attention to gaming news, and I knew that game was buggy as hell. But
that's
we
crazy.
knew this before it released. That's the difference. Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red, they did some bullshit with make reviewers only review the PC version, and make the PC reviewers only show the footage we give them. But Bethesda didn't do that for Fallout 76, which I didn't think I was ever say this, but congratulations. I give a round of applause for that. They didn't
Right.
hide shit. They gave Bethesda gave Fallout 76 out to these reviewers when it was buggy. Now, granted, they should have released it because it was
Nah,
buggy as hell, but they still didn't lie about it when it
that's
released. They probably lied about it
crazy.
before it released. But once that game came out, reviewers had that copy to slaughter on
That is
reviews.
crazy.
Cyberpunk CD Projekt Red knew the game was buggy, but instead lied, told reviewers how to review it. Only show the footage we give you. Now, doing the whole showing the footage we give you, that's okay to me because Naughty Dog did with Last of Us Part 2.
Right.
But they didn't do that because of buzz. They did it because of story, and they didn't want people to talk about what happens. That's why they did it with that. Cyberpunk, they did it because they didn't want people to see how buggy it was. Now, I do remember the guy on IGN saying the game was buggy. Now, I did remember him saying that, but he still gave a motherfucker a 9 because he had the PC version. That's
That's
why. Like
crazy.
they couldn't review the console versions, and they couldn't talk about it. Like that's dirty to me. Like that's some dirty shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you
That's some
ain't
dirty
wrong.
shit. Yeah, that's some dirty shit. Like that's you put out a game you know is bad, and then you only let reviewers review this one specific version, and don't talk about the console version. Don't even mention it. Like I don't understand what they think was gonna happen. Like
I don't either.
I don't know. They like you know this game is horrible on the PS4 and Xbox One, and yet you still put it out. Now like I told you, they was kind of the developers were kind of stuck in a bad place because if they pushed it back again, could you it still would have been uh put on the cross and burnt alive. You know what I'm
You
saying?
think so?
If they had to put they would have pushed it back again to 2021. Yes,
Well, I
it
would.
would have been bad. It wouldn't be as bad. Okay, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now,
Yeah.
but it would have been bad. I could see Cyberpunk videos, Cyberpunk pushed back again. Like it would have been all over YouTube. That's all you would have saw. So they didn't want to do that. Now, what I think they should have done, and they still would have been crucified because of this, just put out the PC version. They should have just put out the PC version. That was it. Don't even put out on consoles. Put out the console version later.
That would have made
Yeah.
But no, because you still got problems on PC. So
You do have problems on PC, but it's still the best place to play right now. But it is still bad because, like I said, I told you on Angry Joe's rant, he has it on PC, and he said he can't even hardly finish the game because it keeps crashing.
right. And
You know what I'm saying? So
mind you, just so you know, RPGs historically are already difficult enough because you know you struggle to get money. So imagine my surprise when I find out that at a certain point in the game you're going to need money to progress, and I'm like, what? But I mean, that's not a problem because I've already solved how I'm going to get around that or whatnot. But just knowing.
and just to let you know too, The Witcher 3 did this. I just found this out recently.
What you mean?
The Witcher 3 released only on PC first, and then it came to
Oh.
consoles later.
And see, I don't know why they just didn't do that then. I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have been upset about that.
Actually,
Yes,
I'm
they
looking
should
right
have
now. I'm
just
gonna see the
waited in
date.
general. They playing with people's feelings. Yeah, they should
Let me
have.
see. I'm gonna look up when Witcher 3 came out on PC and see how long it took for it to come to consoles.
Ooh, I feel like that's. I feel like that's gonna be.
Cause that's why the game was so popular. Cause, you know, the first two Witchers was only on PC. The only reason Witcher 3 became so big is because it released on consoles too.
And I kept wondering why I had never heard of that series until The Witcher 3. I was like,
because it was only on PC.
I was like, yo, I want to play these other Witcher games.
It was only on PC when it first came out. No, well, the first two Witchers. And I've only learned this recently, just listening to one of the podcasts I listened to, that played The Witcher 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? He said it only came out on They only came out on PC. I think he said The Witcher 2 actually came out on the 360 later, like way later. But at that point, nobody really care.
Right.
So when Witcher 3 came out, the reason it was so huge is because it came out on everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But even that game, and see, this is like I told you, this is why I was willing to give that game a pass because when Witcher 3 came out, I heard that it was buggy. But
Yeah, well,
you know,
they say it was.
I just didn't know it would be as I didn't know it would be this buggy. So.
Right.
But oh my goodness, like this game has really like soured my mood because it was supposed to hold me over until the PS5. But you know what else? What I have to play now? I almost have to play Grand Theft Auto now because they had an update and you can drive a submarine in here now.
The whole submarine,
Submarine, yes. They have a heist on here now. We saw it, well, part of it, where you go to this island and yeah.
Right.
Did you see what happened? Something feels off here.
Oh, never mind. I think It might have been Witcher 2. Not Witcher 3. No, Witcher 3 released everywhere on the same day.
Away from the scene of an accident.
Yeah. It released on the Switch years later, of course.
Right.
But yeah, it came out on Windows, PS4, Xbox One, May 19, 2015. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
So it must have been Witcher 2 I was talking about. Didn't release everywhere at first.
I got into my car in this game. I heard all of what you said, but I'm kind of in shock because the game wanted me to go to the garage, get in my car. I get in my car, and there's another car barreling towards me, and it just smashed dead into me. And I know that's not a glitch because she just mentioned it, but in my mind I was like, the fuck? Please accept our sincerest apologies regarding traffic incident number. I'm not repeating that. The corporation cordially invites you to its main headquarters in order to assess damage and arrange compensation. That is crazy. Like, I think I got past to the point where the world is opening up for me now. Because when I tell you I have so many, what's the word? So many fucking thingies pop up saying, hey, come do this. Hey, come do that. Hey, do this. You know. And it says, a fixer just sent you an offer to buy a vehicle. Whenever you receive an offer, a new marker will appear on your mini-map to buy the vehicle. Go to the indicated location and confirm your purchase. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto, I don't know how I feel about this heist that they just put out because it's single player, which is great, which means I don't have to split any of the money with anybody. But it's already looking like it is the most difficult thing to do because of the sneaking.
So you haven't even done the heist yet?
Hell no. That one portion that you saw with me sneaking, that was like the setup. That was like the initiation-esque thing. Like,
I thought when you zoomed that map back, it showed all them red dots. I said, damn, Rockstar.
Yeah. And then, side note, because I can't stop talking about Cyberpunk, I got gorilla arms in this game, and I punched somebody. I literally seen my character grab a person by their collarbone right before she fucking plunged her fist into this man's face. And then other folks, when I punch them, if I do like a strong attack, I've seen their whole body just ragdoll. Like they did it almost looked like they did a backflip with their head as the hands.
Yeah,
right. So
yeah, like I said, you're a trooper. I'm pretty sure I probably would have dropped that game. Once that game probably. It depends on the bug. It depends how many bugs I encountered. But that game crashing shit, that shit kept happening to me. I would have been like, yo, I can't do this.
And I don't know, if it happened once, I probably wouldn't have thought anything of it. But the fact that
I would have given it a good 3. I would give it a good 3 tries. If that game crashes on me 3 times, I'm like, I can't. I just wait. Which is what I'm gonna do now anyway. I'm doing Cause Cyberpunk always looked interesting to me, but it never hyped me. I was never on that hype train, but it definitely was always looked cool to me. I always loved the concept of the future of the city. You know, that always looked cool to me. So as of right now, I'm just gonna wait. I probably gonna play that game until I get my PS5, whenever that is, and when all the patches come out and it's finally fixed. Because one day this game will be fixed. It will run properly. So I'll just play it then. Because yeah, I know the game is the talk of the town now.